Okay guys, so we're back again in the sewing room today, fresh from the thrift store, and today we've got this awesome Singer 301 to show you guys. Now this is actually our second 301. Our other one is actually our go-to sew-along portable machine for when we sew outside of the house. And it is such because it is a really, really nice portable machine. It has a handle, it's lightweight, it's smooth, it's powerful, it's super nice to use, and for like piecing quilts together and such, it does a really nice job. It actually has the same bobbin mechanics as like the Singer Featherweight, which is a rotary hook, and it's just very smooth and very nice to use. Now, as a portable machine, one of its features is that it doesn't have the hinge slots in the back to mount it into a table like this. So what they came up with was this ingenious cradle system that you can see here that the machine just kind of snaps into and makes it so that you can place it in to the cradle and then snap it into a standard Singer cabinet. So really fortunate to have found this. We got a really good deal on it, and we're just really happy to have it. Now, we haven't tested it, we haven't plugged it in, we haven't wiped it down, we haven't done anything to it. I don't even know if it works. By the impeccable condition of it, I'm guessing that it does work and probably works quite well. But in any case, we will get it out of the cabinet onto a workbench, and we'll we'll get into the nooks and crannies and give it a good cleaning and a lubrication. And if we find anything that doesn't work, then we'll address that when we come across it. So until then, I think what I'll do is get you in a little closer so you can take a good close look at this really neat cabinet. Really fortunate to have this one. It's probably one of my favorites that we have so far. I love the styling of it and its functionality. So let me get you in a little closer and take a look at that, and we'll get started. All right, so the first thing I think I want to show you guys is how nice this table actually functions. So I can take and lift up the machine, pop open the door, drop it in, and she's ready to fold up. And it's got a interlocking lid, just like that. And I've got the support over here that just snaps into place, and she's good. Very nice. This doesn't have a bunch of stains and nicks and dings. It's just a very, very nice cabinet. So that is how that works. That when you open this up, the support just pops out on its own. Open this, pull the machine up, and she snaps right into place. Look how nice that works. Just really, really nice. This thing, I'm not even sure if it's ever been used, to be honest with you. It's in really good shape. Now, the next cool thing I've got is, first of all, this is a knee lever. The knee lever just kind of pushes up out of the way, comes down, and then pushes on. So it does have spring. It's a basic knee lever situation that I think it just probably mounts up into a foot pedal that's mounted up inside the cabinet. So that's cool. I love using a knee lever. It's kind of a different experience, but it's fun. And coming along the top here, it kind of has a hidden inset drawer. And inside of this drawer, we've got an original Singer 301 color manual, which is always nice to have. We got the bobbin cover, so it must be missing off. Yeah, it's missing off. So we have the bobbin cover, and it's stamped with Simcoe on it, which tells me that it's an original bobbin cover. Now, this is actually a very valuable piece because it's the same as the Singer Featherweight. They're very sought after, and from what I understand, the aftermarket ones that don't have Simcoe on them don't necessarily work very well, and unless they're, I don't know, some kind of a special brand or have been engineered a certain way. But these are very valuable, and I think I've seen them for as much as $100, $150 online. Just this, so that's a good find right there. Also inside of this, we've got a row of bobbin holders. I've got about 7 or 8 of these things in here that are all preloaded up with who knows how old a thread, but that's really nice to have. And then you come around here, and you can see this beautiful bent wood construction. This is actually a door that opens up. Isn't that beautiful? It opens up all the way back to 180. And then what I've got inside of here is a shelf up in here. Oh, that's super dirty and has a bunch of needles and stuff and buttons in it. Okay, we'll clean that up. We've got a shelf up in here that goes all the way back. And then below are 2 nice drawers with nice handles. And you open up the drawers, and we've got doodads. We have a standard Singer box, chock full of all of the original standard doodads. That's always fun. That's my favorite part. What else is in here? An even feed slant shank walking foot. Very nice. That's always nice to have as well. And some needles. And at the bottom, oh yeah, look at this. Beautiful. Really nice condition. This is a Singer buttonholer with the book and all the cams. I don't think that's ever been used either. A nice molded case. What else? Automatic zigzagger. Looking brand new as well. How incredibly nice. Guys, this is a score. How incredibly nice. The machine is beautiful. The cabinet is beautiful. The original bobbin cover, all the bobbins, all of the attachments. This stuff is really valuable. This is a beautiful, beautiful score. We're very, very fortunate to have found it all and to come across it. So, and have gotten such a good deal on it. So, okay, with that, I think we will go ahead and get this thing out of the cabinet and get started maintaining. Okay, so I've got this up on the cabinet and ready to test. So I think the first thing I like to do before I get into one of these for the first time is to remove the bobbin and remove the needle. And I know that there's no bobbin in it because we saw the bobbin case in the cabinet earlier, but it does have a needle, so I'm going to go ahead and take it out because I don't want to hurt myself. So that's out. Tighten that back up. Okay, and now the next thing I want to do is just give this a little hand test to see, is it grinding, is it making noise, is it spinning, kind of see what it feels like and sounds like. Sounds really good. Wow. Sounds a little dry, to be expected, but I don't feel any grinding. Let's take a look at the bobbin assembly. Is rotating nicely. Nothing's wiggling or jiggling or rattling. Looks good. Feed dogs are going up and down. Wow, hey, this is great. Good start. Okay, excellent. It looks like we're missing a bobbin winding tire, but that assembly is moving. Okay, I love how these tuck away so nicely. That is such a nice touch. Okay, the stitch length selector seems to be working. Let's see here. They're going forwards, going backwards, and let's see if it governs. Screw this in. Yeah. Unscrew it, and we should be able to go all the way up and down. Perfect, man. That's all working really well. Excellent. Okay. And I've got the tensioner for the bobbin winding here. I've got the spool holder for winding a bobbin. So far, so good. Let's see if the clutch engages and disengages. And it disengaged and re-engaged. Wow. This is going to be an easy one, guys. Very, very good. Okay, cool. And the tensioner foot goes up and down. This seems to all be engaging. Goes from 0 to 0. Perfect. Put that in the middle. 6 or 7. Hey, cool. Looks good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is plug it in. Give it to power here since we're good to go so far. And I am going to very lightly, well, should we see if it has light? That would be handy. Looks good. It got a light switch. Hey, look at that. We got light. Okay, I'm going to just very lightly push on the motor to see if it spins. It's buzzing. Here it goes. All right. Hear that thumping? It just sounds a little dry. Go a little faster. Full blast. Okay. I don't smell anything burning. Oh, what do we get? We have bound up. Okay. Cool. Well, we got a problem. That's always fun. That's what we're looking for, is to get through these. And it came off again. Okay, so for some reason it just bound up real quick and then released itself. And I have a feeling that's probably to do with lubrication. So we won't push it any farther until we get it in there and figure out what's going on. But that is testing. I think we're good to go. So we will take this one section at a time, start taking stuff apart and getting it cleaned up and lubricated. Okay, so I think the first thing I want to do is start at the top of this guy, get the top cover off, and see what we look like inside of here. So this should just be 2 screws. I'll just pop this guy off real quick. They make these pretty easy to get into, which is really nice. There we go, pop that bad boy off. It's got like old oil kind of residue kind of all around the nooks and crannies. I bet that'll come off with some oil or a little bit of light degrease. The inside looks pretty clean. We've got these 3 little oil wicks and they are dry. They correspond to the oil holes. They're definitely dry, but they're pliable, so I think that they don't need to be replaced. I don't think they just need to be re-oiled. So that's cool. That's the lid. How do we look inside of here? Not too bad. Everything's rotating okay. Just a little bit of dry grease in here. Let me get a swab. Just spritz it with a little bit of light degreaser. Get some of this old grease off the shaft. Yeah, look at that gunk that's on there. Okay. Other than that, it doesn't look bad. That looks good. The motor doesn't have... Yeah, the clear grease that you put on those is not bad. It's just really light. It doesn't have a lot of buildup or debris. There's no dust bunnies. Looks pretty good in here. I really like it. Yeah, I've seen a lot worse than that, that's for sure. Okay. Looks good. Okay, now I think, man, even the old grease on this gear just isn't even built up that bad. Okay, excellent. Okay, so what I think I want to do now is get into the end of this guy and get it cleaned up. Okay, so I've got this here at the end of the machine, and if we pop this open, we can see the inner workings inside here, and it's usually these are full of dust bunnies and debris and gunk, and this is just not. It just looks really dry. All of these joints just have a little bit of like old dry oil on them, but they're not at all really dirty. So let me just get in here and make sure that there are no dust bunnies in here. It's not bad at all. It's just dry. Okay. And then I'll take a dry swab, and I just want to try to get some of the old oil off of these rods before I re-oil them. You can see kind of the dried gunk that's coming off all these little spots. Overall though, really, really not bad at all. Really not bad. Very cool. Okay. So yeah, that looks pretty clean. I like it. That ought to take care of that section. Alright, so the next thing I need to take apart will be this end wheel. And to do that, we will need a small screwdriver, and I just need to take this clutch handle off. And to do that, we should just be able to, that was tight. Loosen this, it's gunked up. Loosen this, you don't usually have to take them all the way out, just enough to get it to pass the stopper, which it did. So that's cool. We'll take this all the way out. Look, you can see all the gunk built up on that. That definitely needs cleaning. And then in here is quite gunky, and that is definitely going to slow the machine down. We have here is our washer, the nubs. There's 3 nubs here on this side, and on this side there are holes. The nubs go out towards you. Very much dirty. And then, wow, that's sliding right off. Generally, when they've been sitting a while and they're all gunky, this is frozen on here and you gotta fight to get it off, but that's coming right off. But it is a little stuck. Okay. And this is like a little clutch release system. Seems to be working well. And the inside shaft has got old, dirty, blackened oil. So that will need cleaned up. And then the inside shaft in here has got this blackened, dry, junky oil or grease left over. So we're going to want to get in there and clean that out. This has just all got dust bunnies and junk in here. So let's start out with a brush. We'll get in here and get any dust bunnies out of here that I can reach. That looks good. Yep. Clean the electrical component. I don't know if you guys can see that, but inside of here, you can see just a layer of dried gunk that we should be able to get off. And then this clutch wheel, let's just try to get any dust bunnies off of it that we can. Out of the inside of the front, you can see the collection of dust bunnies. Okay, that is looking better. Trying to get the grooves of this gear kind of cleaned out. Oh. So my hands are turning black, so I'm gonna get a little light degreaser on my hands and cleaned up so I don't keep moving it around. You see I'm transferring black grease to the hand wheel. Get it cleaned up again. Okay. Fabulous. That looks pretty good. Okay. Let me get the handle. This is the clutch handle. And all that gunk built up on it. All these dust bunnies. Make this screw work a little better without having all of that debris in there. gunking it up. Oh, she popped right out. Good. Okay. That looks good. And then the washer also looking better. Great. Now, what I want to do is just take a swab and just a little light spritzing of lightweight degreaser and just wipe down these components. You can see that, all that dried oil and or grease that's on there. These things will all work a lot better and take new lubricant better if they are clean. So that's that. Now take another clean swab with a little bit of degreaser on it and just clean up. See all that junk coming off of there. I'll just make this old girl happy again. I mean, it's in really good shape. It's just, I think it was probably used for a few years without fresh lubrication. So that's nice and clean. And then finally, let's clean up this hand wheel. Okay, another clean swab, and we'll get the inside. Looks good. In this groove here. All that dried grease just adds friction to the whole system. Get the lint back out of that. Okay, and that looks better. I like that a lot better. Looks good. Okay, now what I need is another swab with just a little bit of light degreaser, and I'll get inside of this housing. Just kind of clean up this area. You can see all the old dried oil that has broken down. I'll get inside of here. We'll put some fresh, clear Singer lubricant grease in this area. Once I get it all kind of cleaned out. Now you can see how black that is. Okay. Okay, looks good. All of that looks pretty good. Excellent. Okay, so that pretty well cleans up this end. Okay, so the next part that we need to clean is the bottom of the machine. So I have it laid up on its back, and it looks like we should just need to take off this thumb screw right here. Really handy. They make this pretty easy to access, and this should, look at that, lost the felt guy here that holds the thumb screw on. How do we look? Yeah, a little dirty. Let's just attack some of this right away. Kind of gather up the junk that's on it with our brush. Okay, yeah. Perfect. You can see all that was on there. Okay, now let's take a closer look at what exactly is going on in here. Not real dirty. Let's just take a quick brushing around it just to, in case we miss anything. It doesn't, again, like the rest of it, oh, as I say that, look at all that. Wow, that was some junk coming under the bobbin case. So this is, it's old lint. It's dry as a bone. Even the lint is in here is dry. I just think it looks like this machine was not overused, but was mildly neglected due to not being lubricated enough. But that's okay. They all need love somehow, and that's what we're here for. Time we're done with it, it'll be a good runner for sure. Just trying to get all this junk out of here as nicely as I can. As I turn this hand wheel, I'm feeling that slight binding that I felt in the very beginning of the video where we were testing. I think that is likely going to be the product of having thread wound up in the bobbin, which means we'll get to take that apart too. If you've ever taken one of those apart on this machine, it's a little fiddly because there's a microscopic screw that you have to deal with, but we will get it. You know, it's amazing going from thrift stores. We've picked up so many machines from thrift stores. It seems like a lot of machines were given up on because they're bound up with thread, and people think that they're seized and that they're just too old and that they are broken. In reality, they've just got thread bound up in the bobbin case area, and they just need to be, pulled apart and have it all removed. So hopefully that's the case with this one. It is definitely, as I go around, it's trying to catch. So that's just most likely what that problem is. So I've got a good collection here of junk from the bottom of that. So what I'm going to do is get a clean swab again with just a spritz of degreaser. And I'm going to just try to get old dried oil off of these components to give us a clean, fresh start. Let's see how black all that is. Seen a lot worse machines though, guys. This is definitely a good start for sure. Okay. All right, pretty happy with all that. I like the looks of all of these components. Put some grease on these spiral gears and oil all the joints, and we'll be good to go. So I think the next thing is going to be is take apart that bobbin case. All right, so the first thing we need to do to get this bobbin case taken apart is to get the needle plate off. So let's take that off. It should just be these two screws right here. good. I think I'm actually going to take this foot off as well, just to get it out of the way. There we go. Okay, and then with this back screw, it's kind of a funky angle, but hopefully I can get at it. There we go. Yeah, it wasn't too tight. Okay. Got those out. And this should now want to pop out. Great. And it isn't horribly dirty or messy. Excellent. Okay. Let's see, while we're in here, let's just take, oh my, yeah. We got some dust bunnies. Okay. Looks good. Now we can get under here. I can prop this up so you guys can see what's going on. Okay, that looks good. Let's get in here and get rid of all this jazz. Yep. All kinds of fun stuff in here. Let's try to nicely coax it out of its home. I've got junk here. All right, let's take a closer look. Oh, you can see. Yep, you can see in here, hopefully you can see, I can see, there is thread all up inside of here. It's wrapped around here. That's why it was binding up. And that is honestly likely the reason it was donated. See that? I might be able to fish it out. See all that? That's enough to bind up your machine right there. Is there more in there is the question. Not exactly sure. But we'll probably go ahead and take it apart anyway, right? So we can get in there and clean and lube it. What I need is a micro screwdriver. There's a teeny, tiny screw right here. Try to get to. I might need a smaller screwdriver. I need a micro. Let me grab one of those. There's a tiny, tiny little guy in here. There we go. Now the gig here is for me to not lose this screw, because that's the kind of thing I do. It's loose. I'll hold my finger on it. I can get it out. Got it. If you guys can see that. Teeny, tiny, lose me screw. Okay, and now that should come out of here. Okay, so we've had a minor setback. As you saw in the last clip, I was working on getting this gib hook released and out of the way so that I could remove the bobbin plate. The way this works is this guy just sits in here, and this, what we call a gib hook, it swivels out. Open, closed, open, closed. It swivels out and swivels back in until this little hole lines up with this little hole here, and that's where that teeny tiny screw was at. And what happened was I could not get this gib hook to rotate out and open up. I lubricated it, I let it sit, I massaged it with a screwdriver, tried to pry it out, and finally in the process, this happened. The top end, the top second half of the gib hook snapped off right at the screw holes at the weak points. So this thing's happened. This is how it goes with old machines, but that is going to put us at a standstill on this video. So that's going to conclude all the stuff I can do on this one. This was basically the tear down and the cleaning portion of this revival. And so I'm working on sourcing a new bobbin assembly. Probably get a used one on eBay or something, and that will work for this. And then that's where we'll pick up next week when I get my parts in. We'll start out by replacing this assembly and getting the gib hook all back in place and getting this all cleaned up and reassembled. And then we will move on to lubricating the entire machine, grease and oil, and getting it all put back together again, and then giving it a good test and review. So stay tuned for that next week. Hopefully that all works out for us, and we will see you then. Until then, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And remember, when it comes to sewing machines, you can never have too many, even ones with broken hook assemblies. See you next time.